Hello, Paula Daniele from Crochet Hooks You here, and this is my pastel crochet body cloth that I'll show you how to make today. For this project I'm using one ball of creme de la creme in the colour of Arizona ombre, and with this yarn I'm using a 5mm hook or a H. You'll also need some scissors and a yarn needle. To start this project you'll need to chain on 28 chain stitches, and once you've made your 28 chain stitches, for the first row we're going to slip stitch into the third chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3. So we're going to do a slip stitch into the third chain from the hook. Then into the next chain stitch we're going to do a half double crochet. And then we're going to repeat that right across the row. So a slip stitch, a half double crochet, a slip stitch, half double crochet, and that's all we'll be doing right along the row. So here I'm doing a slip stitch, then into the next chain stitch a half double crochet. Into the next chain a slip stitch, into the next chain a half double crochet. So I'll let you continue on repeating that sequence right along, and your last stitch will be a half double crochet stitch into the last chain. Okay, so now I'm up to the end of row 1 and we can turn our work. And for row 2 we'll start off with a chain 2, so making 2 chain stitches. So there's 1, 2, and then we're going to do a slip stitch into this half double crochet stitch here. There's our slip stitch, and then into this slip stitch that we did on the row 1 we're going to do a half double crochet stitch into that slip stitch there. And then we're just going to repeat slip stitch into the next stitch, a half double crochet into the next stitch, slip stitch into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next stitch. So you'll repeat that right along this row, and your last stitch will be a half double crochet stitch. So I'm at the end of row 2. I've just made my last half double crochet stitch there, and now you can turn your work. And for rows 3 to 29 you'll repeat row 2, which was chain 2, and then you'll make a slip stitch into the first stitch here, then into the next stitch a half double crochet stitch, and you repeat that sequence, so a slip stitch into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next stitch, and repeating that right along the row. And at the end of each row you'll always end up with a half double crochet stitch as your last stitch. So I'll let you go do your rows 3 to 29 by repeating row 2, and I'll see you at the end of row 29. I've just finished the end of row 29 here, and this is what your work will be looking like now. So now we can turn our work and for row 30 we'll just be doing a slip stitch into each stitch across right to the end. So here's our first stitch here, and just making a slip stitch, so that's all we'll be doing right along into each stitch, just a slip stitch, just to tidy up this edge. So I'll let you continue on making your slip stitches right across this row, and I'll see you at the end of this row. So now I've done all of my slip stitches across this row, and now we're just going to make a loop, and we do that by making 20 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then we're going to come back down here into where we did our last single crochet, our last slip stitch there, and we're just going to join with a slip stitch. And then we can cut our yarn, leaving enough of a tail to weave into the back of the work, and finish off. That just means that you can hang the body cloth onto anywhere you like. So now you'll need to make sure you've got your work on the wrong side, and you'll know because this foundation edge here will turn down, and you'll need to get your yarn needle and you'll weave this end in through the back of the stitches here, and with this end here you'll weave it in through the back of the stitches there. And once you've weaved your ends in, this is what your body cloth should look like.